At the end of the 19th century, the Indian Territory, which would later become part of Oklahoma, was the scene of a wave of terror and disorder. Led by the infamous Rufus Buck, a gang composed of 5 ambitious youths terrorized the region. They were a diverse group. 2 members were of African American descent, while the other 3 were descendants of the Creek and Seminole tribes. These rebellious youths left a trail of chaos, robbing farms, stores, and unfortunate travelers who crossed their path. Crazy Horse, born around 1840, emerged as an emblematic figure among the Lakota people in the 19th century. From a young age, he was immersed in the traditions and values of his community, which shaped his character and leadership skills. Recognized for his bravery and skill in battle, Crazy Horse earned the respect and admiration of his tribe. He was a determined leader in many confrontations against the United States Army, defending his people's ancestral lands against attempts at forced displacement. Black Canyon is a place of deep stories and striking landscapes, with roots stretching back billions of years. The first people to call this canyon home were American indigenous peoples, who coexisted peacefully with the natural environment. Among them, the Ute, Paiute, Navajo, and Hopi tribes made use of the resources offered by the Gunnison River, adapting to and respecting the land. Evidence of their presence, such as rock art, pottery, and ancient tools, are silent testimonies of their rich cultural heritage left in the walls and valleys of this canyon. In 1869, the United States government undertook a pioneering mission to explore and map the vast and unknown American West, known as the Wheeler Survey Group. Led by Captain George M. Wheeler, an officer of the Army Corps of Engineers, the team consisted of experts in various disciplines, including topography, geology, botany, zoology, and photography. This interdisciplinary group was tasked with documenting the features and biodiversity of this still little-known region. Doc Holliday is best known for his iconic role in the shootout at the OK Corral, but his life is filled with deeper layers and fascinating nuances. Born in 1851 in Georgia, Holliday was the son of a doctor and planter, which provided him with an affluent upbringing. From an early age, he showed great academic aptitude, which led to excellent school results and later graduation in dentistry at just 20 years of age. The so-called Buffalo Soldiers were a contingent of African American military personnel who stood out for their participation in the Indian Wars, under the flag of the United States Army. The origin of the nickname is fascinating. The Cheyenne warriors named them thus, inspired by the bravery and tenacity of buffaloes, remarkable animals known for their resilience and strength in combat. These men were pioneers, being the first African Americans to officially join the regular ranks of the American Army. Located in the Black Hills Mountains of South Dakota, Deadwood emerged in 1876, spurred by the gold rush. This small town quickly evolved into a hub of mining and trade activities. However, beyond its economic role, Deadwood gained fame for its lawless atmosphere, becoming home to various iconic and turbulent figures of the Old West. Alfred A. Hart, born in England in 1816, moved to the United States at the age of 9. He became known as a photographer by documenting one of the most ambitious projects of the time, the construction of the Transcontinental Railroad. This historic enterprise connected the east and west coasts of the United States in the 19th century, and the images captured by Hart played a crucial role in telling this impressive story of progress and innovation. On May 10, 1869, a significant milestone in the history of American railroads was achieved. On this day, the works of the 2 major railroad companies, the Central Pacific and the Union Pacific, converged at Promontory, Utah, completing the first transcontinental railroad in the United States. Cowboys adopted a style of clothing that reflected the demands of their arduous daily lives in the field. The long hours or even days spent on horseback demanded robust and adaptable clothing, suitable for varying weather conditions. Typically, they wore button-up shirts made of cotton or wool, materials that provided protection against both cold and heat. Additionally, the use of jeans, due to their durability and ease of maintenance, was essential for facing the intense work routine. Situated in Santa Fe, New Mexico, the Old Mission Church, or San Miguel Mission, is a relic from the Spanish colonial eras, built around 1610. Recognized as the oldest church in the United States except for those in Puerto Rico, it was founded by Franciscan friars. The purpose of these missionaries was to evangelize the local indigenous peoples, seeking to facilitate their acceptance and integration into the new orders brought by the Europeans. Louisa Houston Earp stood out for her choice to live a life full of romance and adventure in the arid American West. Originating from a large and wealthy family in Wisconsin, Louisa had no family ties to the renowned General Samuel Houston, contrary to what many thought. Endowed with intelligence, education, and beauty, she had all the conditions to marry within her social sphere. However, she chose to follow the inclinations of her heart, falling in love with Morgan Earp, one of the notorious Earp brothers, famous for their involvement in the legendary shootout at the OK Corral. Johnny Ringo emerged in 1850 in the state of Indiana and became one of the most notorious figures of the Old West. His life was marked by numerous armed confrontations, including the Mason County War in Texas and the famous shootout at the OK Corral in Tombstone, Arizona. In the latter, Ringo sided with the Cowboys, facing off against the Earp brothers and Doc Holliday. His exceptional skill with a pistol, standing out both in speed and precision, solidified his reputation as one of the most skilled gunmen of his era. During the 19th century, the American Old West was a melting pot of settlers, adventurers, bandits, and indigenous peoples. In this rustic and often dangerous environment, dogs became essential for survival and daily life. They served as protectors, hunters, herders, and even loyal friends. These animals were not new to North America. Native peoples had domesticated them millennia before, long before Europeans introduced horses to the region. Located in the heart of Deadwood, South Dakota, the old-style Saloon Number 10 is an iconic establishment dating back to 1876, during the bustling gold rush era. This bar is not just a place to drink and socialize. It serves as a true slice of Old West history. Among the many notable events that occurred within its walls is the tragic murder of James Butler, Wild Bill Hickok. Known for his prowess as a gunman and gambler, Wild Bill was playing poker when he was fatally shot. An incident that has become one of the most famous stories of the era. In the 19th century, the Old West was home to a diverse mix of individuals, including settlers, adventurers, outlaws, and indigenous communities. Many of these men faced life on the frontier isolated, without the support of family or close friends. Faced with constant adversities and dangers, local bars became more than mere commercial spots. They were true centers of social life. In these places, it was possible to find someone to share stories, woes, aspirations, and plans, creating a sense of community and belonging in an often hostile environment. Captured in a charming image from the early 20th century, Paula Hubbard is seen in Nevada, comfortably seated in a horse-drawn carriage, a popular mode of transport at the time. By her side, a sturdy horse pulls the vehicle, while a loyal dog keeps her company, adding a more welcoming air to the scene. The photo taken in 1900 captures a unique moment in rural life, an experienced farmer in perfect harmony with his surroundings. He is at his farm, a location not disclosed, engaged in one of his usual routines, milking a cow. What makes this scene stand out, however, is a charming and unexpected detail. An intrigued cat approaches. With a friendly gesture and a smile, the farmer directs a stream of freshly drawn milk straight into the feline's mouth. For nearly 3 decades, from 1874 to 1900, the Cabinet Saloon stood out as one of the most sought-after spots on Whiskey Row in Prescott, Arizona, a street known for its lively bars and saloons. This establishment was famous for its diverse selection of beverages, ranging from ice-cold beer and elaborate cocktails to mineral water brought directly from Europe and top-shelf whiskeys. Traveling by stagecoach from Tipton, Missouri to San Francisco, California, was an odyssey of about 4,500 kilometers filled with challenges and dangers. This journey crossed desolate and wild territories, subjecting travelers to extreme conditions. Over the approximately 25 days of travel, which could extend due to weather and other obstacles, passengers faced hunger, thirst, abrupt temperature changes, and constant risks of diseases, assaults, and indigenous attacks, all while traveling day and night without breaks, immersed in dust, rain, or snow. In 1950, an elderly man named Ollie L. Roberts, but better known as Brushy Bill Roberts, surprised everyone by claiming he was the infamous Billy the Kid, the notorious outlaw supposedly killed in 1881. Brushy Bill claimed to have survived that supposed death and lived incognito for many years. To try to prove his story, he made a trip to Fort Sumner, New Mexico, the place where Billy the Kid supposedly met his end at the hands of Sheriff Pat Garrett. Between 1894 and 1905 in Dawson, Yukon Territory, a rather unusual sight caught the attention. A boy, always smiling, enjoyed being transported in a cart. However, what really made this scene stand out was not the cart itself, but the fact that it was pulled by a team of strong, trained dogs instead of horses or motor vehicles. In the warm months, from spring to autumn, the cowboys who roamed the vast lands of the American West, including the fields of Wyoming, faced a rather austere existence. Instead of enjoying meals in a dining hall or the big house of the farmer, they often found themselves sitting directly on the ground, eating outdoors under the vast sky. The image in question was taken by A. Frank Randall, a renowned frontier photographer during his period documenting the Apache people in Arizona and New Mexico, from 1883 to 1887. It shows an unidentified girl, accompanied by her dog and a donkey-pulled wagon. The exact location where the photo was taken remains a mystery, although it is known that near where it was taken, there was a tennis court at Fort Apache. In 1880, renowned photographer David Barry captured an iconic image of Lakota Rain in the Face, one of the most revered chiefs of the Sioux tribe. In the photograph, he poses with his favorite rifle, the Winchester Model 73, famous for being the gun that won the West. Rain in the Face is primarily remembered for his strategic role in planning and executing the surprise attack on Lieutenant Colonel George A. Custer's forces during the famed Battle of Little Bighorn in 1876.